welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Aniekan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. Federal government tackles labor over strike as unions disrupt Imo flights. INEC assures voters of fair, credible elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. Plus, United States says Israel to begin 4-hour daily pauses in Gaza. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. From the national scene, where the federal government has berated the organized labor over the strike it declared in Imo State and its planned nationwide strike scheduled for November 14 because of the physical attack on the NLC President Joe Ajaero in Owerri. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo admonished the NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC against politicizing Ajaero's alleged maltreatment, warning that politics might destroy the labor movement in the country. Recall that in protest against the assault on the labor leader during a protest against the Imo State government on November 1st, the organized labor disrupted all Owerri-bound flights at the Lagos and Abuja airports and forced passengers to deplane. Meanwhile, the federal government, through the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, has said that plans are underway to launch a roadmap for removing 80% of unemployed youth from the streets. Onyejocha challenged top managers at the National Directorate of Employment (NDE) to sit up for the challenge, promising a new National Directorate of Employment to execute the job at the ongoing Lagos International Trade Fair with the theme Connecting Businesses, Creating Value in the nation's economic capital. The minister stressed NDE's crucial role in tackling unemployment through provision of skills and entrepreneurship opportunities for young Nigerians. In a statement by her special advisor, Media, Emame Gabriel, Onyejocha urged NDE managers to focus on combating unemployment without compromise. According to her, the president has given a clear mandate to address the challenge decisively. In the meantime, the federal government has called on international partners to intervene in the humanitarian crisis in Benue State. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, made the call in Makurdi during her visit to the Ichwa internally displaced persons camp. Edu said governments would ride to the headquarters of international donors to seek assistance to resettle the IDPs. Reports say Ichwa is one of the 13 official IDP camps located across the state. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Works, in collaboration with the Lagos State government, has said that the ongoing emergency rehabilitation of the third mainland bridge in Lagos State would cost over 21.074 billion naira. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, accompanied by the Deputy Governor of Lagos, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, disclosed this when flagging off the emergency repairs of the bridge. During the flag off, the minister noted that the sum was a result of an expansion of the scope of work to include the complete replacement of the asphalt on the bridge deck to the standard 2 inches to make motoring smoother and safer on the bridge. He lamented that previous efforts to fix the bridge did not address all the concerns for total restoration of the integrity of the bridge, hence the need to expand the scope of the repairs, disclosing that a special feature agreed with the Lagos State government was to fix spikes on the guard railings to discourage suicide attempts on the bridge. The minister declared that the repairs of the 4 rams of Adekunle Adeniji will be completed on or before December 13, 2023 for Christmas and New Year, while the maintenance of the main carriageways would begin in January 2024. From the seat of the Red Chambers, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has said that other countries will learn from Nigeria after 50 years of democracy. He said this when he received the Irish ambassador to Nigeria, Peter Ryan, in his office in Abuja. According to Akpabio, the 59th president of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, Nigeria, needs a lot of assistance, collaboration and bonding to learn from other democratic nations like Ireland. The Senate President also spoke about the spate of kidnappings across the country, particularly in the Niger Delta. He said the menace has abated largely through the efforts of the previous administration. According to him, Nigeria's democracy will have significantly developed by 2073. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has again assured free, fair and credible elections in the November 11 governorship polls in Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo states. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, gave the assurance in his message on the off-cycle governorship polls. Yakubu, however, noted that the commission cannot conduct credible elections alone, noting that other stakeholders must play their part. The INEC chairman also re-emphasized that INEC was not a political party and therefore has no candidate in the election. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has also said that electoral staff in Saturday's governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states must demonstrate the highest level of patriotism and professionalism. The INEC chairman in a statement noted that the Commission's responsibility is to safeguard the process and ensure a level playing field for all political parties and candidates. He added that the choice of who becomes the governor of Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states is entirely in the hands of voters. In a related development, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has deployed its operatives to monitor the Saturday governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi. The spokesperson of the commission, Azuka Ogugwa, said this in a statement in Abuja. According to her, the Commission's operatives have been deployed to the 56 local government areas and 649 wards in the 3 states where the election would be held. Ogugwa added that the operatives were to, among other things, monitor and prevent vote buying and other electoral malpractices at the various polling units during the election. We move now to Africa, where prosecutors in Burundi are seeking life imprisonment for former Prime Minister Alain Guillaume Bunyoni, who is on trial for 7 charges, including using supernatural powers to threaten the president's life. The prosecutors also called for Bunyoni to pay damages equivalent to twice the value of the 153 houses and plots of land and 43 vehicles belonging to him, in addition to a fine of 7.1 million Burundian francs. Reports say Bunyoni's trial started in September, a year after he was fired by President Evariste Ndayishimiye over suspicions that he was plotting a coup against him. Bunyoni, who is also accused of undermining national security, subverting government institutions, destabilizing the economy, and enriching himself through illegal means, pleaded not guilty to all charges and asked to be acquitted, citing a lack of tangible evidence against him. Still in Africa, a diphtheria outbreak has been reportedly declared at South Africa's Pollsmoor maximum security prison following the death of a 19-year-old inmate. South Africa's Health Minister Joe Mfala said the male inmate who contracted the disease last month died on Sunday. According to him, 8 more inmates aged 18 to 23 are in isolation after testing positive for the disease. He added that a vaccination drive in the affected section of the prison is underway. On the foreign scene, the White House has said that Israel has agreed to daily 4-hour pauses in northern Gaza to let civilians flee, even as President Joe Biden said there was no chance of a full ceasefire. Biden has been pressing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for longer breaks in the fighting after more than a month of war sparked by the October 7 attacks by Hamas. Report says Israeli troops and Hamas are now locked in heavy close quarters fighting in Gaza City in the north of the Gaza Strip. The National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters that Israel will begin to implement 4-hour pauses in areas of northern Gaza each day, with an announcement to be made 3 hours beforehand. Still on the foreign scene, the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has approved the world's first vaccine for chikungunya, which it sees as an emerging global health threat. The agency said the mosquito-borne disease causes fever and joint pains and can be fatal to newborns. The FDA's approval is expected to speed up the vaccine's global rollout. Reports say about 440,000 chikungunya cases, including 350 deaths, have been reported as of September this year. Still to come in the news. Osimhen Ndidi missing, Uzoho called up for Nigeria's World Cup qualifiers. Stay tuned for details of this and more after this timeout.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
For premium broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news around the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
On our business news, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has disclosed that China's declining growth is set to affect Nigeria's economic fortune. IMF noted that because China has forged deep economic ties with countries in sub-Saharan Africa over the past 20 years, its recent declining growth may affect growth in Nigeria by 0.5 percentage points on average. The Washington-based lender also revealed that the ripple effects of China's slowing economy extend to sovereign lending to sub-Saharan Africa. which fell below $1 billion last year, the lowest level in nearly 2 decades. The IMF noted that the sub-Saharan African countries will need to adapt to China's growth slowdown and declining economic engagements by building resilience through increased inter-African trade. Still in business, the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NIETI) has said that the federal government revenue-generating agencies remitted a total of about 14.4 trillion naira as revenue from the extractive sector to the Federation accounts between January 1st, 2020 and December 31st, 2021. The Executive Secretary of NIETI, Oji Ogbonnaya, while presenting the latest fiscal allocation and statutory disbursement reports released by the organization, said the revenue-generating agencies include the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, and the Nigeria Customs Service. The report, which is the fourth in the audit cycle, revealed that overall remittances to the Federation accounts for the period increased by about 14%. We move down to health, where the Edo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency says the prevention and treatment of neglected tropical diseases (NTDs) will be included in the second round of oral polio vaccination in the state. The Health Education Officer, EDSPHCDA, Irene Uwabo, disclosed this during the Social Mobilization Committee stakeholders meeting for the second round of polio vaccination in Benin. Uwabo noted that NTD's drugs would be given to children above 5 years and adults in the 6 endemic local government areas of the state. She explained that the second round of the polio vaccination for children under 5 years would commence from November 11 to November 16, 2023. Still in health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has called on agro-allied operators in the country to ensure the use of appropriate and safe seeds. NAFDAC said the use of safe seeds for animals would help safeguard the health of humans and animals. The Director, Veterinary Medicine and Allied Products (NAFDAC), Dr. Remetu Momodu, made the call during the Agro-Merit Industrial Outreach in Abeokuta. She also sought more cooperation from the Poultry Association of Nigeria at the national level for effective collaboration toward the development of the industry through efficient regulatory practices. Move down to sports, where the Super Eagles will be without Napoli hitman Victor Osimhen and Leicester City midfield Maestro Ndidi for the team's 2026 World Cup qualifiers against the Harambee Stars of Zimbabwe and the Crocodiles of Lesotho. Nigeria's squad list for the November encounters was released, by the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF). A snapshot of the list shows Nigeria are leading into the games with 23 players as they begin their quest for a place in the global football fiesta built for the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Osimhen will miss the games due to an injury he sustained in Nigeria's friendly match against Saudi Arabia, and Ndidi will also not feature in the matches owing to injury concerns. Meanwhile, AC Milan's new boy Samuel Chukwueze is another notable absentee from the list, and under-fire goalkeeper Francis Uzoho made the cut. Nigeria, three-time African champions, will face the Crocodiles of Lesotho on November 16 at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo before locking horns with Zimbabwe on the 19th of the same month. They are in Group C of the qualification series alongside South Africa, Rwanda, and Benin, Zimbabwe, and Lesotho. Still in sports, Kano and Uyo have been designated as venues for the maiden edition of the Nationwide League One NLO Cup. The competition will run from Friday the 24th of November to Saturday December 9, 2023. The Chief Operating Officer Olushola Ogunowo disclosed this to newsmen. Ogunowo assured that the NLO has made arrangements for comfortable accommodation and transportation subsidies for all participating teams during the duration of the tournament. On entertainment news, street hop sensation Pablo has released the musical video for his hit single In Battle. Pam Brimo latest offering is the Amapiano and hip-hop hybrid In Battle, on which he features street hop maestro Zlatan. Pam Brimo has also teamed up with Ace video director T.G. Omori for the visuals of his hit record that has continued to soar on streaming platforms in Nigeria. The minted music video comes amidst a wave of criticism that Pabrimo failed to receive clearance from gospel singer Gloria Oluchi, whose single We Are in Battle he sampled for the chorus. Still on entertainment, an African DJ and songwriter, Silavia, has debuted with 2 new tracks, Chasing the Paper and Money. Chasing the Paper showcases Silavia as an artist who can conjure vivid moods. Her motif takes on the Afrobeat, following her into her next release, Money, which narrates a tale of unrequited love and her lack of interest in anything that is not money related. Both songs flaunt the idea of Selavia's strong artistic identity going forward. They showcase her ability to channel emotional honesty over the familiar bounds of memorable pop beats. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv Live. You can also follow us on YouTube. Make sure to turn on the notification button. My name is Uyaya Nick, and thanks for being a part of this. This has been Spectrum Television News at 12. Have a good afternoon.